Hey, we're at American Top Team here in South Florida in Coconut Creek. Big stuff coming up. We got Saturday, May 13th in Dallas. UFC 211. The one and only, the Diamond Dustin Poirier. He'll be fighting Eddie Alvarez. Dustin just had a workout. Dustin, talk a little bit about this fight. What's going on in Dallas for you, and big opportunity here.
Yeah, man. Every fight's a huge opportunity, but UFC 211 in Dallas is May 13th, Saturday, and it's a big card, the biggest card of the year so far, and a lot of big names, 2 title fights. Eddie's the former champ. Me and him are throwing down live on FX.
How did you get the nickname the Diamond?
My second trainer back in Louisiana gave me the nickname, and when I first got into the WEC, and we've just been running with it since. I never changed it or guessed why, or just kept rolling with it.
Dustin, growing up in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yeah.
What was it like for you growing up? Were you involved in any sports when you were younger?
I wrestled a little bit when I was younger, played football. But other than that, no. That's a little bit of football, a little bit of wrestling.
What made you decide, hey, I'm going to give MMA a shot and I'm going to try this type of combat sport?
You know, when I was younger, I got into a lot of trouble fighting, and started going to a boxing gym, started boxing, and then started putting my little bit of wrestling I had to use, and started doing grappling and grappling tournaments and doing jiu-jitsu. Then I started fighting amateur, and it just kind of turned one thing into another. And honestly, mixed martial arts and martial arts in general kind of gave me a focus when I was, you know, aimlessly wandering when I was younger and getting into trouble. It kind of gave me a focus and something to get better at and something to put all my energy in. And I fought amateur, and then I ended up turning pro, and I was working a full-time job and fighting professionally, and then I started working part-time, fighting professionally, and then I was able to eventually become a full-time professional fighter.
When you're going through that process of like, all right, so I'm getting a little bit of trouble doing things here I shouldn't be doing, was there a turning point for you at that time? And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, I got to start doing something else here.
Yeah, you know, I was getting in trouble for sure, and then I just, it wasn't like I told myself I have to stop doing this. This is what I need to be doing. I need to be doing it in martial arts. It just happened that way. I just fell in love with the sport and fell in love with competing and training and getting better at the combat sports, each aspect, and it just took all my energy and focus. I didn't have time to do anything else. And I grew up in the sport. You know, I've been fighting 10 years now. And so me and my wife have been together through my whole career. Before I was fighting, I've been married 8 years. So my life, fighting is, and my life are together in one thing. It has made me the person I am today. It's given me everything me and my family have. Fighting has changed my life completely.
What do you think about American Top Team?
American Top Team is a great gym. We got some of the best guys in the world on the mats at all times, great coaches. The facility is incredible. We're on the beach in South Florida. I mean, what else do you want?
Yeah, I was going to say, how does this compare at all to Lafayette?
No, Lafayette, we got an ocean not too far away, but it's the Gulf of Mexico, and it's dirty.
Being from Louisiana, what was that like? Because there's been a lot of, with some like hurricanes and things like that I guess have gone through Louisiana and all. Were you or anyone affected by that, or were you lucky enough to stay out of that?
The last big one that hit was Katrina, and my brother lost his house in New Orleans. I think he lost his car, and but me and my family weren't affected directly by the storm. We opened our house and let some Katrina people, some family from Katrina actually came and lived with us for a week or so because they lost their house, and they had kids and they didn't have a roof over their heads. So my mom opened our doors and let them come in with us for a little bit. But other than that, the storm didn't affect me directly. No.
What do you like about fighting and what you do?
I enjoy combat sports. I'm a fight fan. Boxing, kickboxing, anything. I appreciate the sport. I appreciate the one-on-one combat. But what I do, mixed martial arts, is at its purest form, I believe. You know, it used to be called no holds barred. You know, but obviously it's a sport and there's a few rules in place to keep it clean. But other than that, it's the purest form of combat. Two men fighting, you know, for everything. It's all on the line. It's modern day gladiators. It's all on the line in front of sold out arenas, millions of people online and on pay-per-view watching. And the fight doesn't stop once it hits the mat. It stops when somebody gives up or somebody's unconscious, you know. And just that pure combat attracts me.
Now, you said you've been doing this for 10 years now?
I've been fighting 10 years.
10 years. How have you seen this whole thing change from when you first started to now, and how big it has become?
You know, the sport is still a young sport in the grand scheme of things. It's just finally starting to be accepted and put on Fox and legalized in New York last year. So I've seen the sport come a long ways in just the 10 years I've been fighting. It's becoming more of a mainstream thing. It's being accepted. Kids are doing it now. You know, when I first started, it wasn't that long ago, 10 years ago, when I first started, like in 2006, it was still kind of looked at as very violent, and people turned their head away from it. I don't want to see that two guys bleeding, but it's been more accepted as a sport now. We kind of were barbarians back in the day, I guess you could say. But or people thought we were. They called it human cockfighting and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. But I think people are starting to accept it and see that it's an art.
Big fight coming up May 13th, UFC 211 in Dallas, going against Eddie Alvarez. He's ranked number 3. You're ranked number 9 lightweight. Obviously, big opportunity for you. When you first were contacted about being a part of this, tell us the emotions, what was going through your mind.
It was kind of, when I got the call to fight Eddie, I didn't know if it was going to happen because it took a while for the fight to get accepted and ran through. But they called me with the idea of it, and I said, sure, I'm in, let's do it. It was kind of recent. It was, I just fought in Brooklyn, New York at UFC 208. So they called me, I was only a few weeks after that fight. So it was kind of fresh still. I just got out of a fight, and I didn't know if I wanted to be involved in another training camp right away. I kind of wanted to let some bumps and bruises heal. But when an opportunity like this comes along, you can't pass it up. This guy's number 3. He was just the champion. I'm his first fight since he lost his belt, so I know he's hungry. And it's a great opportunity for me to show what kind of fighter I am.
What does family think about the Diamond getting involved in MMA and becoming a star? Basically, you all are stars. Becoming a star fighter in UFC.
You know, my mom and my dad and family are very proud of me.
I mean, see how you transformed. It's just got to be amazing to anybody that really knows you.
Anybody who knows me,
or younger kid that was getting fights and all like that. Now you're a professional. You're a man. You've matured.
Yeah, I'm far from perfect, but this sport and fighting and just being around the kind of people who hang around gyms like this has made me a better person for my family, for myself, for business. You know, I just feel like I said, martial arts and mixed martial arts has completely changed my life.
All right, so what does the Diamond like to do when he has time and he's away from the gym?
I don't do much, man. I like being a dad. I have a beautiful little daughter at home. I go bowling. I go to the movies. I like to cook. Cooking is a big hobby of mine.
And I see a lot of the tattoos, and this is really good because I do want to try to get a shot of this as well. Do the tattoos have meaning for you?
Sure, they all mean something to me. They were all done at a point in my life where I can remember getting each one done, where I was at in my life, what was going on in and outside of the cage, and just I started getting tattoos when I was 15 years old, I think. So it's been a lot of years of getting tattooed.
Social media for you. Do you have anything you want so fans can check out?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all my name, Dustin Poirier.
And that's Poirier. Poirier.
Poirier.
The Diamond, Dustin Poirier. Thank you so much. We'll see you at UFC 201, Saturday, May 13th in Dallas.